Back in May of 2025, I released my magnum opus, The History of the Brown Crown. This video was the pinnacle of over a decade of fantastic contraption competition, an annual tournament where players would construct a machine inside a build area to bring a goal piece into a goal, solving increasingly difficult levels until only one player remained. From 2012 to 2022, I hosted 10 Brown Crowns, where nearly 80 contraptioneers competed with almost 700 designs created for the competitions. The Brown Crown history video was meant to be the final chapter of the Brown Crown, but admittedly there were some loose threads left hanging. During the competitions, if a level went unsolved, all players advanced, and that level was left behind. And at the end of each competition, I would post the what would have been levels, aka the levels that would have been used for the next rounds if the competition had not ended when it did. Many of these previously unsolved levels have since been conquered, but at the release of the Brown Crown history video, there were 7 levels left standing. Perhaps the Brown Crown wasn't quite finished yet. The oldest level remaining was Hurricane Irene, the what would have been level that was released at the conclusion of Brown Crown 3. This is a multi-part level that would require multiple creative solutions to help the goal piece navigate through a series of tunnels and sharp corners, and it would all need to be done within 120 pieces. Up next was a level that went unsolved during round 8 of Brown Crown 8, Sassenrath. Somehow players would have to walk a design off the right edge that would be able to whirl itself up and into the nest containing the goal piece, then drag it down and fling it all the way to the left. In the short week or two that is usually given for a Brown Crown round, it is no wonder this went unsolved. Another unsolved level was round 9 of Brown Crown 8, Lovelace. Impika has actually solved a nerfed version of this level, which was quite impressive in its own right. But solving the original would not be as easy as just extending Impika's ideas. Snaking some sort of mechanism through the middle tunnel with enough juice to twirl the goal piece around to the goal may be impossible. This is the one Brown Crown level that I'm willing to say may never be solved. At the conclusion of Brown Crown 8, the what would have been level was Dykstra. The goal piece is poised right next to the build area, but every other aspect of this level makes it extremely difficult. A contraption must first be dropped to the left, then find a way to pop over the middle wall and whip the ball around the right side and into the goal. This floor on the left adds to the difficulty by preventing a simple weight drop that could be used for any of the middle or later parts of the mechanism. When Brown Crown 9 ended, I revealed Chambers. The cavern on the left almost taunts players with a wide open chasm that they must find a way through, only to turn the corner at the top to retrieve the ball. Of course, that isn't the end, as they would then need to throw the goal piece underneath, around, and through the build area, then into the goal. And finally, there are 2 what would have been levels from Brown Crown 10. The first is Shayla. Arguably the most doable level out of this entire set, it's almost surprising that it was still unsolved. But that doesn't mean it would be easy. Players would have to find a way to poke the ball off its starting perch, allow it to fall into the middle gap, then pop it up and into the goal on the left. And our final level is Wilder. If players could find some way to launch a contraption over the left wall with enough mechanized muscle to move through the goal and retrieve the ball, the final step of pulling that ball back through the goal would probably be no sweat. So those are the 7 levels left from previous Brown Crowns, gathering dust until someone gives some motivation to solve them. But being satisfied with the release of the Brown Crown history video, it looked like the Brown Crown could finally be laid to rest. I may end up regretting this, but at Jirek's request, I agreed to revive the Brown Crown and host its 11th edition. If, by some miracle, 4 of the remaining 7 levels were solved. Needless to say, this stirred up quite a bit of excitement within the community. Just 4 levels were preventing Brown Crown 11 from coming to fruition, which would give everyone a chance to add their name to the list of Brown Crown champions. The exact order of difficulty of these levels is debated within the community, but as part of that discussion, I shared this tier list with my opinion. Despite all the debate, Shayla was generally thought to be the easiest by most contraptioneers. And so the community got to work, throwing anything they could at the level to find what would stick. The first to show some serious promise was Jirek with this design. A A wooden weight balancing on this triangle pushes down on the left side of a lever, activating the upper joint of a lever on the left that hoists this bundle of rods over the wall on the right, which unfold into a catapult. When that original wooden weight falls to the left, it yanks the mechanism with it, pulling down on the left side of the catapult that had been moved into place and throwing a stick up to the goal piece, knocking it from its perch. Unfortunately, the stick prevents the ball from rolling all the way to the middle, but the idea is clearly there. Pika then shared an idea that could be used for part 2 to launch the ball up to the goal. It would require some reworking, but it had potential. After combining the two parts and with some minor modifications by Noya, the group had a clear outline with all the parts in place and were in the final stages of a solve. After sitting on the sidelines, I decided I couldn't resist the urge to jump in. With some minor adjustments and a lucky tweak, we had a solve, and the first of the 7 deadly levels had fallen. The group named this solve the warm-up, indicating a serious intent to knock down 3 more. After Shayla was taken down, there was some more discussion about which level would be the next to fall, but the next that looked like it may have some cracks in its armor was Hurricane Irene. Irene was released all the way back in 2014 after Brown Crown 3. In those 11 years, there were a handful of ideas that had been thrown around, but nothing had really stuck. Why would things be any different now? Clover joined the Fantastic Contraption community in late 2023 and has already made a significant mark on this game. If it isn't abundantly obvious from the distinctiveness of these designs, Clover has a knack for the weird and wacky in FC. Her approach to the game feels like an artistic expression of problem solving, rather than just getting the job done with repeated, overused mechanisms. It's as if she purposely seeks out challenges that can't be solved with traditional means, perhaps most well put on display by this 2-piece solution to Gatekeeper, an official level whose previous 3-piece record was long thought to be the limit. Clover's unique characteristic of optimized ingenuity would prove to be exactly what was needed to show there may be a break in the clouds of Hurricane Irene. Clover shared a design that got the ball out of the first area in just 29 pieces. Slowly but surely, a collaboration over the course of several months began brewing between Clover, Chicken Bob, Kin75, RL Babbitts, Pika, Mark XB, DJ Breslin, IG Lima, Braina, and Noya. Part by part, idea by idea, and slowly optimizing each part of the design to free up pieces to be used elsewhere, this ambitious collab managed to create the solution to Hurricane Irene, Storm Chaser. With that, the second of the 7 Titans had fallen, but unfortunately for our heroes, this is where our story still stands. 2 of the long-standing unsolved Brown Crown levels had been solved, but for the Brown Crown to be revived, these Contraptioneers will need to find a way to take down 2 more. It's difficult to tell which level could be the next target. Neither Lovelace nor Wilder have any significant progress shared, but there are promising ideas floating around for the other 3 levels. Dykstra has had a few demonstrations for how to achieve its ending, but no clear options for how to get a mechanism into place to do so. The hardest part of this level will almost definitely be maneuvering a mechanism over that middle wall. Whizbang and ID36 have extremely old progress for Sassenrath from back when it went unsolved during Brown Crown 8, but unfortunately each idea needs quite a bit of work before a solve can be achieved. Even if one of these ideas can be made to work, there will only be around 40 to 50 pieces remaining to retrieve the ball and sling it to the left. And then there's Chambers, which has had a few different thoughts thrown around for how to retrieve the goal piece, but the best option so far appears to be this idea, which feeds a snake to the upper portion of the cavern to pull the ball out. Two levels down, two more to go, if FCers ever want to see Brown Crown 11 come to fruition. Given that the challenge was proposed just a few months ago, and two of the toughest levels to ever come out of the Brown Crown have already been taken down, it is not a question of if, but when, two more of these final five will be conquered. Only time will tell.